Mayor and I have just come from visiting with the families of our two murdered police officers. It's a time of great emotion, of great passion. And so please bear with us as we try to bring some sense to the madness that occurred this afternoon in the streets of Brooklyn. It's sometimes difficult to find the words to speak to events like those that occurred today, to try to make sense of them, but we'll try. Today, two of New York's finest were shot and killed with no warning, no provocation. They were quite simply assassinated, targeted for their uniform and for the responsibility they embraced to keep the people of this city safe. At approximately 2:47 p.m. today, Police Officer Wenjian Liu and Police Officer Rafael Ramos were assigned to a critical response vehicle, CRVs as we refer to them, in the confines of the 7-9 precinct. While CRV is traditionally used for counterterrorism operations, this past May, we also assigned some vehicles to housing developments throughout the city, developments that had seen an increase in violence in the early part of the year, like the Tompkins houses where the officers were stationed. While sitting in a marked NYPD police car in full uniform, both were ambushed and murdered in front of 98 Tompkins Avenue in the Bedford-Stuyvesant area of Brooklyn, New York City. Both officers are assigned to the 8-4 precinct, but were posted at this location as part of a department crime reduction strategy to address complaints of violence in the area of the housing developments in that area. Officer Ramos was in the driver's seat, and Officer Liu was in the front passenger seat beside him. According to witness statements, the suspect, who has been identified as 28-year-old Ismail Brinsley, walked up to the police car. He took a shooting stance on the passenger side and fired his weapon several times through the front. He took a shooting stance on the passenger side and fired his weapon several times through the front passenger window, striking both officers in the head. Officer Liu and Officer Ramos never had the opportunity to draw their weapons. They may never have actually even seen their assailant, their murderer. Other officers who were also assigned to the CRV post immediately pursued Brinsley southbound on Tompkins Avenue. Brinsley then turned westbound on Myrtle Avenue and fled into the Myrtle Avenue and Willoughby Street, the G train subway station. He proceeded down the stairs onto the westbound subway platform. While on the platform, Brinsley shot himself in the head, took his own life. A silver semi-automatic Taurus firearm was recovered on the subway platform near the suspect's body. Officers Liu and Ramos were transported here to Woodhull Hospital. Despite every effort to save their lives, both officers tragically succumbed to their injuries. On behalf of the New York City Police Department, I extend my deepest condolences to Liu and the Ramos families and the families within the NYPD. Both officers paid the ultimate sacrifice today while protecting the communities they serve. The suspect was transported to Brooklyn Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. We are currently continuing to investigate this incident. I want to thank at this time Dr. Raju and his trauma staff for their valiant efforts, but unsuccessful efforts, to resuscitate our officers. Some background information relative to the events leading up to the murder of our two officers today. At approximately 5:45 this morning in Baltimore County, Maryland, a female believed to be Brinsley's former girlfriend was shot and seriously wounded by Brinsley at her residence. Baltimore County detectives later received information from the victim's mother that Brinsley was posting on the victim's Instagram account. Further information was developed indicating that Brinsley may have had associations with the East Flatbush area of Brooklyn. At approximately 2:45 this afternoon, Baltimore authorities sent a fax, a wanted flyer to the NYPD and other agencies. Tragically, this was essentially at the same time as our officers were being ambushed and murdered by Brinsley. Tragically, too, this is not the first time this department has seen such violence. 7 times since 1972, we have seen partners murdered together, often in incidents such as this, mindless assassinations without warning. Our officers know this from the memorial walls on our precincts and headquarters, and from the stories they hand down. Nevertheless, they do what we expect of them. They grieve, they mourn, but then they go out onto the streets of the city and work to keep it safe every day and every night. We have never and never will forget that mission. We will never forget the 2 young men who lost their lives today.